What's up guys, I'm Bob Tompkins with the Living in SC team at Real Broker, and welcome back to the channel. On today's episode of Living in South Carolina, we are going to be talking about the top 3 places that you should live around Greenville in 2024. Now, there's a few places you may expect to be on this list that you are not going to find, such as Simpsonville, Greer, Travelers Rest. Those places are not going to be mentioned because I think going into 2024 that while those are great areas, they do not offer the same sort of development and growth that some of these other areas offer, and I'm very excited about the ones that we're gonna mention in this video. But before we get started, if you're thinking about making a move to the Greenville area, or if you're looking to buy and sell in Greenville, South Carolina, shoot us an email at info@livinginsc.com or shoot us a text at the number listed below, as we would love to be a resource for you as you begin to make that move. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into it. As I mentioned before, Travelers Rest, Greer, and Simpsonville are not going to be on this list. And one of the big reasons is because those areas have been developed to the extent that a lot of people think that they're going to. In Greer and Simpsonville, there's just no more room for big development unless you go a little bit outside of those areas. And for Travelers Rest, the area is pretty resistant to development. There are some cool things that are going on there, but a lot of it is actually based around temporary housing for people that work over at Furman University, as the city is pretty restrictive on letting a lot of big development happen around their downtown. They like being a quaint little place that connects down to the Swamp Rabbit Trail and allows for some good cycling, running, those sort of activities, and they want to preserve that outdoor sort of feel that TR really does embody. With that being said, number 3 on my list of places to live around Greenville, South Carolina in 2024 is Fountain Inn. Fountain Inn is a little bit of an extension of Simpsonville. It exists about 5 to 10 minutes southeast of that Simpsonville downtown, but Fountain Inn is its own community, and the residents of Fountain Inn will make sure that you know that. There's a lot of pride in Fountain Inn, and what they've been doing to develop their downtown is very cool. Recently, about 3 years ago, the new Fountain Inn High School opened, and in 2025, they will have their first graduating class. This is a tech-centered high school that is very keen on teaching its students what the job market is going to look like over the next couple of decades and training its students to exist in that job market. So Fountain Inn has put a lot of its resources into this high school. They're very proud of this high school. I think it's great for the area, as there are a lot of new subdivisions and developments that are being done out in Fountain Inn. Also, in their downtown area, the Mill at Fountain Inn will be opening in 2024. This is going to give Fountain Inn something it hasn't really had, which is a good brewery and downtown green space where people can go, hang out, and socialize. Some of the other places around Greenville have already had this. Downtown has Gather Greenville, Easley has the Silos, Simpsonville has the warehouse at Vance. So for Fountain Inn to get this sort of thing for their downtown is huge, will help continue to cultivate a sense of community in the Fountain Inn area, and a place that you absolutely should look at living if community and a downtown atmosphere is important to you. Coming in at number 2 on my places to live around Greenville in 2024 is Woodruff, South Carolina. Now, Woodruff is a little bit outside of the Greenville area. It's about 35 to 40 minutes to get from Woodruff into Greenville, but it's only about 15 to 20 minutes to get to Five Forks and Simpsonville. So Woodruff does provide this nice little area to where if you want to get to shopping, or if you want to get to the mall, or you need to get to a grocery store and some of those different amenities, you're not too far out. Of course, Woodruff has its own stuff, but that Five Forks area really does offer a lot. So people will be willing to drive from Woodruff into town to get some of those better amenities for their livelihood without being too separated from it. But Woodruff has a ton of development going on right now, and a lot of that is largely due in part to BMW's new plant that they are building in the Woodruff area. This plant is geared towards making electric batteries for their electric vehicles that are in production for BMW. And this plant is being built on 315 acres. It is a $700 million project that is estimated to bring in about 300 new jobs and about 4,000 new homes to the area in Woodruff, which is super exciting. Now from Woodruff, there's also good accessibility up to Spartanburg. So for people that need access into the Greenville area as well as Spartanburg, Woodruff is a great area because a lot of that's been built up around Duncan and more, largely because of the BMW facility that's in Duncan, has already kind of been built up. This allows for there to be that further development out on Highway 101, which is great for the upstate, but is also great for those larger areas of Spartanburg and Greenville and the additional business that it's going to bring to the area. And finally, coming in at number 1 on my places to live around Greenville in 2024 is Powersville, South Carolina. Now, Powersville has long flown underneath the radar as the west side of Greenville has really just not seen the sort of development that the east side of Greenville has seen. And to me, it's very surprising. Now, in an effort of full disclosure, I do want you guys to know that the west side of Greenville is where I live. Powersville is where I call home. But a lot of the reasons I'm about to give you are why we elected to be here. When you get over into Anderson District 1, right in there in Powersville, there are some really highly rated schools in the area, such as Powersville High School, Wren High School, and the different feeder schools that go up into those high schools. Now, of course, when it comes to schooling, you always want to do your own research. You want to kind of look at different peer reviews, ask around, see what people's opinions are, because when it comes to schooling, everyone's experience is different. But from the research that I personally did, we decided to settle in Wren School District because of the general reputation of the school. When you couple that to easy access to I-85, the ability to get into downtown Greenville, back out very quickly, for me, for example, is about a 20-minute commute into downtown Greenville. Also, the access to the rest of the upstate. My parents live in Simpsonville. We're able to get to their house in about 30 minutes. Really provided a travel luxury for us that a lot of the other areas in the upstate can't really provide. It also gives good and reasonable access into downtown Anderson, which I also think is an overlooked area of the upstate when you compare it to Spartanburg. There's also access over to Lake Keowee, Lake Hartwell, up into the mountains where you have like Table Rock State Park, Keowee Toxaway, that being on this side of Greenville allows you to really go experience the outdoors at a level that other areas in the upstate don't really provide. Now, when you take all of that into consideration, I also like to look at the economic side of things. And Toll Brothers, which is one of my favorite builders, they build a little bit of a higher end home. They have a lot of development that they're beginning to push out to the west side of Greenville with some different communities. Two of those communities are West Point Gardens and Renfield. Now, why this is important to note is Toll Brothers is very keen on the different areas that are growing in the upstate. For example, they have focused most of their development in the past in the Greer and Simpsonville areas of the upstate. So for them to begin to push out westward tells us that they see future development and growth going to happen on this side of Greenville, which is an advantageous investment for them. And I like to say, if you see where builders are investing, you should likely follow suit, as there could be a good return on your investment for you in the future, which is another reason and catalyst for me and my family to purchase and live where we do on the west side of Greenville. Now guys, I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you're thinking about making a move to or within South Carolina, please shoot us an email at info@livinginsc.com or shoot us a text at the number listed below, as we would love to be a resource for you. Also, if this video has been helpful to you, please check out some of our other videos that may be a resource to you. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, we'll see you next time on Living in South Carolina.